Okay, hi. So today we're going to talk about what happens when you sign up with me to do a program because I think this is pretty important unless you want to feel crazy and not know why you feel crazy. So knowledge is power and we're going to teach you today. So let's see if I can turn that. That's a little bit better. All right, so one thing. The second you decide, okay, I'm all in, I'm ready, I'm going to sign up for this thing, this program, this course, this whatever, healing sessions, etc. I'm going to walk you through the process of what I have seen millions of clients do before, including myself. And I'm going to help you kind of navigate so that you know what to expect. And then you can go, oh, that's what that is. And you can just let it go. Okay. So the second you sign up for my course, or maybe even before you sign up, right before you pull the trigger, you're going to experience panic, okay? And you're going to feel panicked about everything that could possibly go wrong. Maybe it's a scam. Maybe she won't follow through on her end. What if it doesn't even help me, et cetera, okay? So the first thing you're going to experience is panic. The second that you sign up for my course. Then once the panic has subsided, you are going to experience doubt. Doubt in yourself and doubt in me. Doubt in general. Doubt that you are capable of changing. Doubt that I am capable of being your coach. Maybe you're going to start seeing all of my flaws. Maybe you're going to be like, oh my gosh, she's not perfect. She's human. And you're going to start to, it's the perfect opportunity to wake you up to see just how imperfect I am. So first one's panic, second one's doubt. Third one is regret. If you let the doubt take over, I guarantee you're going to move into regret. If you move into regret, I can guarantee that you're not going to get very much out of the session. I can guarantee that you're going to be like, I made a mistake and therefore I'm not going to get very much. Some people don't even follow through with the session. Some people give up. Some people don't believe in themselves, etc. Like all of a sudden, this empowering feeling that you're feeling right before you were feeling panic, because you're going to very first, step 0 is empowered. You're going to feel empowered, and then it's going to move down into regret. And once you're in regret, it is possible to get back up, but it's really hard. So try to knock out these doubts, okay? And this is a video that I'm going to send you when you're probably feeling doubts, when you're probably starting in this panic doubt area. Right after you feel empowered, I'll probably send you this video so that you have this on hand, okay? So the next thing I want you to do, okay, now that you know all of this, we're going to talk about your goal, okay, and how important this goal is to you. So I've got this note and it's like all messy, so I'm trying to organize my thoughts. So your goal requires commitment. And in order for you to commit, you have to understand your why. Why are you doing, that's an ugly why, but why are you doing what you're doing? Why did you choose to heal? Okay. Once you have committed to healing, you're going to experience this. And once these doubts start to creep in, your why is going to be the only thing that pulls you out of panic and doubt. Why are you healing? For me, my why was right after I self-harmed. I was like, I am never going to feel like this again. It was my all-time low. It was so painful. It was so frustrating. It was like, I am never going to get better if I don't make a choice to change. And I remember, like the back of my hand, the hopelessness, the terror, the helplessness that I was feeling in that moment. I remember my why every single day. I remember how bad it felt to feel bad. So that's my why. Anytime I'm like, I don't want to do this session. I don't want to do this program. I think about that moment and I'm like, nope, I do. This is my rock bottom. This is my why. I'm going to continue. I'm going to press on. I'm going to keep going. So what is your why? I want everybody to write down your why right now. Before you even continue, get your pen and paper, write down your why. Get as detailed as you possibly can. Remember how painful it was, okay? Remember why you are on this journey that you're on. Because once you remember your why, your panic and your doubt will subside. You'll be like, I'm panicked and I'm going to work on it. I'm going to fix it rather than succumb to it, okay? So after you have figured out your why, you need to understand the evolution of the soul. Where's my whiteboard marker, eraser, whatever, this will work. Now you have to understand the evolution of the soul and what it takes for you to break through to your goals, okay? So you have your why, you know you want to change. What is it going to take to get you to change, okay? It's going to require that you face panic and you face fear. And also I'm going to draw a visual. Okay, so in these three situations, in three scenarios I'm going to draw, I want you to figure out which one applies to you the most. But we have a mountain, we have Mount Everest. We have a bow and arrow. Okay. And we have a bungee jump, cliff dive. Hey, little person up here. Okay, so he's gonna cliff dive or he's gonna bungee jump. He's gonna do whatever and he's gonna fall, okay? In these three, okay, in these three scenarios, all things must occur. They feel empowered, and then they feel panic, then they feel doubt, and then there's regret. Okay, same thing that happens with the evolution of the soul. This is what I call it the, I'm gonna write this, evolution, this is ugly, of soul. Okay, what is required before each of these things happen? You have to pull the arrow back. You have to start climbing this steep, steep hill. And you have to jump. Okay? All the three of these things are painful. All the three of these things, before you even start your journey, okay? All right, I'm gonna slow down for a minute. Okay, you are here. Your goal is right here at the top. This is what you want. This is what you desire so bad. You start this trek and you feel empowered. You feel pretty good. You're like, I can do this. And you keep going. And you're like, this kind of hurts. And then you keep going. You're like, I'm never going to reach the top. And then you keep going and you doubt yourself, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And just like climbing Mount Everest or climbing any mountain, going on any hike, you start to feel like, what the hell did I get myself into? Pardon my French, but what the heck did I get myself into? This hurts. This is painful. This is exhilarating, but it's in the worst way possible. And I don't want to do this anymore. So eventually what's going to happen, let me cross all this off. So eventually what's going to happen is you get to make a choice. Right when you hit where it gets hard, this very first step, that's when you get to make a choice. Are you going to go back down the mountain? Are you going to never hit your goal? You can go back down the mountain. I promise it's easier. I guarantee it. You can go back down the mountain, or you can hit your goal and keep going, but it's going to require pain. Okay? This is what you want. But in the moment where you're right here, this really feels good. This is what you think you want, but it keeps you stuck and you never hit this point. Okay? So when we are doing this evolution of the soul, recognize the same thing is going to happen when you hire me. You're going to be like, I thought this was really a good idea, and now I don't think this is a good idea, and this really feels painful. And who do you think you are? And I must have signed up for the right coach or the wrong coach, because now I feel really bad about who you are, and I thought something about you, and it's, you know, you're going to start to attack me, you're going to start to attack yourself, you're going to start to attack the world. You're overall just going to start doubting and panicking, and you're going to make a choice. Are you going to text me? Are you going to back out? Or are you going to push forward, hit the top of the mountain, and never experience this low ever again? Okay, moving on to the bow and arrow. Before an arrow pushes forward, let's say you get over the hill, you hit the top, you've got, well, your short-term goal, I should say. Now you want to launch your goal into success. Now you want to be successful in it. Okay? Before an arrow can be launched forward, it has to draw back. And what this means is that before you launch into success, before you really truly activate that goal long term, you have to draw back. You have to go backwards and feel things you never thought you'd feel before. You have to go back. You have to be pulled backwards. And it hurts and it's painful, but it's quick, because the second you let go, shoots, and you're successful. Okay. So moving from the bow and arrow to the cliff diver. Once you sign up for cliff diving, you're like, I'm so cool. I'm empowered. I'm awesome. You get on the edge of the cliff. You're like, I don't know how I feel about this anymore. Before you even get to the edge of the cliff, you're in the car driving to the cliff and you're like, I should not have done this. I'm so panicked. I doubt, who do I think I am? Right? But it's so interesting because the second you jump, right? The second that target hits its mark, the second you hit the goal, the second you get to the top, you're like, this is so amazing. I'm so surprised I didn't do this sooner. And you do it again. Most people who climb Mount Everest don't just do it once. They love it so much. Most people who skydive don't just do it once. They love it so much they keep coming back because it is so empowering. Okay? Before you hit your goal, at every point, where's my marker? At every point, this is going to be here, this is going to be here, and this is going to be right here at the edge of the cliff. All of these green things are what I call your terror barrier, or you'll see me refer to it as your sabotage line. Okay? And what happens when you hit this sabotage line? All of the panic, all of the doubt, all of the fear comes up, maybe even a little bit of regret comes up, and you're going to be like, I cannot do this. And all of your coping techniques that you've ever used are going to come into play. Okay. The second I start healing, my coping techniques for me is to check out, to be mentally absent and to not be present at all. So that's going to come into play. And that, I call it a sabotage line because it sabotages your goal. It's a complete sabotage of the operation. It's a complete sabotage of the evolution of the soul. At every given point, you will experience sabotage. The difference is that, are you going to experience the sabotage, give it power and give up and go back down the hill, or put down the arrow, or not jump off of the cliff? Or are you going to jump? Are you going to keep going despite the pain? Because you know that the second you hit out of this terror barrier, I promise you will get your goal. It's just painful in the moment, and a lot of people don't make it. The scripture comes to mind, many are called, but few are chosen. And it's because they hit this terror barrier, this barrier of terror, and they give up. It's too hard. It's too painful. They go back into their coping mechanisms. They go back into whatever keeps them stuck. The difference is that you have to find the courage to keep going. So, in order for you to overcome your terror barrier, you have to replace terror with endurance. Enduring to the end. Oop. This is why it's in the scriptures, literally everywhere if you're LDS. Endurance. That is how you continue. That is how you pursue. That is how you hit your goal. You endure to the end. You keep your commitments. You remember your why. Commit to your goal. Commit to your goal like you commit to a marriage, like you commit to your children. Commit to your goal, whatever it takes in sickness and in health. You are committed to that goal. You are married to that goal. You are bonded to that goal. You are not separating yourself from that goal. You want the top of that mountain so bad. You want it so bad. You paid money to be here. Commit to your goal. Build your endurance, because the next time you do this, it will be painful, but it will not be as hard. You will feel empowered. There is a moment right before a woman goes into transition during labor, I'm a doula, that they hit 7 or 8 centimeters. They call it transition because it's transition to birth. And she gives up. She starts to say things like, I cannot do this anymore. I am exhausted. I am tired. I haven't slept. I haven't ate. I cannot do this anymore. She hits her terror barrier sabotage line. But her body is too committed to the goal to let her back out. And the second she has that baby, it's the most beautiful moment in the world. It's the most beautiful moment in the world because it's enlightenment. It is an evolution of the soul in its finest. Don't quit on yourself. You started this program because you want a better life. Don't quit on yourself. Love yourself. Love yourself enough to keep going. Build endurance. Commit to your goal. Remember why. And you've got this. I promise. You can do hard things. You can. I've done them. I'm there. I can empathize. I've done it. You got this.